Hello again and welcome to the program. This is Energy and You, a weekly highlight of happenings around Nigeria's energy sector with a focus on NNPC Limited. I'm Egusa Igumbo. This week, NNPC Limited extends invitation to skeptics for a facility tour of all its refineries amidst the controversy that has trailed the restreaming and operations of the Port Harcourt facility. The energy company hopes to clear every doubt about the rehabilitation work and its operations. Experts and key players commend the energy company on the restreaming of the Port Harcourt refinery, caution critics against undue sentiments on critical national matters. And in defining the next frontier for local content in Nigeria, NNPC Limited renews its commitment to enhance local capabilities and foster strategic partnerships for energy sufficiency. Over 45,000 candidates sit for NNPC job aptitude test, marking the second phase of the company's recruitment exercise. We'll bring you details of all these stories and more in today's episode. Please join us again. Welcome again to the program. Now, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, recently inaugurated its national headquarters in Lagos. The ultra-modern building, now known as NUPENG Tower, has been well equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. NNPC Limited was invited for the commissioning ceremony, and the Group Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Milikari, was there.
The Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, commissioned its new national headquarters, known as NUPENG Tower, in Jibo, Lagos. The 7-story building serves as a state-of-the-art workspace designed to enhance operational efficiency and service delivery for its members and staff. At the commissioning of the NUPENG Towers, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was represented by the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Senator Heineken Lukubiri, emphasized on the vital role collaboration plays between government and key stakeholders like NUPENG in advancing Nigeria's economic development. He acknowledged the union's contributions to the oil and gas sector while highlighting the significance of the new NUPENG headquarters, emphasizing the need for continued dialogue and partnership to tackle challenges in the sector and drive national growth.
I could agree that when this government came on board, our production was maybe about 1 billion barrels. But today, being on the support from Henderson, NUPENG, and the leadership of the industry, we are doing about 1.8 billion barrels, inclusive of Henderson.
In his goodwill message, the group's CEO, NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, congratulated NUPENG on its achievement while urging continued cooperation with NNPC and the government. He highlighted the positive impact of the recent presidential executive order in attracting investment and creating job opportunities in the oil and gas sector.
NUPENG operates in the oil and gas sector, as we all know. This industry has not seen the level of executive intervention, actually political intervention, that has resulted in significant change to the fortunes of the industry. And we must, I don't know if anybody has spoken to it, we must recognize 2 things. Mr. President's executive order would change the fiscal terrain in the industry, and also a second executive order that changed the terrain of procurement in the industry.
He also extended an invitation to skeptics for a fact-finding tour of the refineries in Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna, emphasizing transparency in the company's operations while clarifying the necessity of blending as a part of the refining processes to meet regional fuel specifications and prevent vehicle damage.
Repair or rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery and the other refinery is not fantasy, it is real. And I also agree with you that it should not be split up. Otherwise, we have seen one young man coming out to say that the plant is not working. I don't know what he knows about plants. with all respect. You don't measure plant operations on the street. You don't pick city people in the street to speak about it. We understand this very well. We know where it is coming from. We are not bothered about this. But I can tell you today, the plant is running on the Refinery.
The event was well attended by industry stakeholders, traditional leaders, and friends of the industry. The event ended with the commissioning of the tower and a tour of the facility by invited guests. This event underscores NNPC Limited's commitment to fostering transparency in its operations and its dedication to driving economic development through effective collaboration with stakeholders like NUPENG.
We are the dynamic global energy company of choice, steering the course of Nigeria's biggest export industry. With years of commitment, delivering greater value, and improving lives, NNPC is transformed to better meet your everyday energy need as the largest contributor to the Nigerian economy, generating clean, sustainable energy with integrity, excellence, and creating value for all stakeholders.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow, energy for tomorrow. Come on, let's go.
In another development, no fewer than 45,689 applicants took part in a computer-based aptitude test, which held on Saturday, 7th December 2024, as part of the recruitment process to secure employment at the NNPC Limited. The aptitude test, which held at various test centers across Nigeria, marks the second stage of the rigorous recruitment process that began earlier this year. Speaking at one of the centers, the Sarudin Society Centenary Resource Center in Maitama, Abuja, the company's Group Chief Executive Officer, Mele Kyari, said, as an equal opportunity employer, NNPC Limited has made special provisions to ensure that applicants with disabilities can take the test without any hindrance.
This is an equal opportunity company for all Nigerians. We will take the best among you, including the physically challenged. We love all of you. You are all our children. We want you to join our team so that we can make a great company out of the NNPC, as we have seen great people in our company working for our country.
One of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAM coordinators said the exercise was hitch-free as adequate preparations were put in place by the NNPC Limited.
We set the questions for the exam. I'm sure NNPC came to JAM because they know what JAM has always stand for. No malpractice, smooth examination processes.
Some of the candidates had this to say on the exercise.
It's an exciting opportunity. I'm really excited to be part of this NNPC and to be able to, for them to even call me, send me an email to come write the exam.
My two best description of this process is transparency, and it's actually inspiring as well.
NNPC have shown me that no, there are people that still, there are organizations that still do things the way they still consider us graduates as we are human beings.
This exercise is the first major recruitment by NNPC Limited since its transition to a limited liability company in 2022.
In the meantime, key players in the energy industry have advised against sentiments and sensationalism over the Port Harcourt Refinery, which has just been rehabilitated by NNPC Limited.
The National President of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasin, Comrade Festus Osifo, and the President of the Nigeria Society of Chemical Engineers, Engineer Anthony Obuoge, have confirmed that the Port Harcourt Refinery is operational, contrary to claims by critics. The two stakeholders who spoke on separate television interviews with Arise TV stated that the refinery's crude distillation unit CDU is functional and producing various petroleum products including naphtha, AGO and DPK for the use of Nigerians. While explaining that the refinery was not designed to produce aviation fuel, Osifo stated that it is producing other essential products. He noted that while the reformating unit, which processes naphtha, is not yet operational, the naphtha is being blended with crack C5 to produce PMS.
From our checks, Port Harcourt Refinery is actually working. But let me explain this. You know, in crude production, in petroleum product production, you know, you take the crude and you pass the crude into what they call a CDU, the crude distillating unit. So it is actually that unit that is going to bring different products. So that unit today, as we speak, is working. The CDU is working.
On his part, Engineer Obuigwe, who is the president of the highest body of chemical engineers in the country, the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers, declared that chemical engineers who are on ground at the refinery have confirmed that the plant is back in operations after over 20 years. He noted that every refinery does blending every day, stating that the process has no room for emotion or sentiment.
The truth of the matter is that the Port Harcourt Refinery, the Area 5 of Port Harcourt Refinery, is running, and it is indeed running. Port Harcourt Refinery has two parts. There is the old refinery and the new refinery. The old refinery is the one that has been brought back into operation. It is running. We can confirm that it's running. We have made contact with our colleagues, professional chemical engineers who are on the ground, and they have confirmed that the refinery is indeed running.
The Port Harcourt Refinery resumed operations on Tuesday, November 26th, after a 3-year rehabilitation which is nearing completion, while work continues on the Warri and Kaduna plants.
Well, let's take a moment here. Energy and You will be back with more stories. Please stay. You're watching Energy and You. Now, the 13th Practical Nigerian Content Forum has ended in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital. The event served as a pivotal platform for stakeholders across Nigeria's energy sector to collaborate on advancing local content initiatives. Under the theme, Defining the Next Frontier for Nigerian Content Implementation, the forum highlighted significant strides made in empowering local businesses while addressing the existing challenges. One of the key participants at the event was the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mr. Mele Kyari, who was represented by the Executive Vice President Upstream, Mr. Udo Bongantia.
The 13th Practical Nigerian Content PNC Forum brought together a diverse group of key figures, including government officials, industry leaders, and representatives from the energy industry. Their active participation was crucial in creating a robust dialogue centered around local content development, setting the stage for actionable ideas that can be transformed into tangible outcomes. The forum emphasized that local content is not merely a regulatory mandate, but a necessity for sustainable industry growth.
We believe that together we will define a better landscape for the Nigerian content implementation by fostering innovation, inclusivity, and strategic partnership between us and our youth. We believe this will unlock the frontiers to which we want to drive our intention of growth and expansion.
In a ministerial address, the Ministers of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil and Gas, Senator Henike Lukobiri and Honorable Ekperipe Epo took turns to highlight the pivotal role of the PNC Forum in fostering a collaborative environment where industry players can share insights and identify opportunities for growth and development of the sector.
Today, I can stand here proudly to tell you that we are experiencing divestments from onshore and shallow waters and IOCs. But Nigeria has got nothing to lose. Either from royalties, from taxes, from the quality of services that we deliver, to guarantee sustainability in our growth. Nigeria has nothing to fear. And that is predicated on the successes we have achieved over the past 1 decade as far as local content development is concerned.
Promoting gas as a transition fuel, gas will be the mainstay of Nigeria's energy shift, and we are giving local business a chance to engage in gas distribution, processing, and power generation.
The representatives of the National Assembly from the Senate and House of Representatives, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Honorable Boma Goodhead emphasized the need for the establishment of a vibrant local content ecosystem and the integration of local firms into the broader energy supply chain to not only stimulate economic growth, but also ensure that Nigeria gears up to meet both local and global energy demands.
We have strong policies like the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development, that's the NOJEC Act. We also have the PIA. But how do we ensure that these policies evolve to meet the demands of a fast-changing global economy? We can do so by refining regulations. Nigerian content laws must extend beyond oil and gas. We need robust frameworks for ICT, renewable energy.
Our gathering today is critical as we collectively strive to strengthen the framework governing the Nigerian content in the oil and gas sector. This ambition is escalated into the transformative legislative initiative under the review by the House. This pending bill before the National Assembly, which provides the shared vision of this team. The main philosophy of this bill is not just to promote Nigerian content, but to ensure ease of doing business in the Nigerian oil and gas industry.
The NNPC Limited's Executive Vice President Upstream, Mr. Odobong Intia, who represented the Group CEO of NNPC Limited, Mr. Melekari, spoke on the restructuring efforts of NNPC Limited, aimed at enhancing local capabilities, embracing advanced technologies, and fostering strategic partnerships that can accelerate Nigeria's journey towards energy sufficiency.
We remain committed in NNPC Limited to ensure the emergence of capable service. Capable service companies will be pivotal in this journey, ultimately leading to a more sustainable and prosperous energy future for Nigeria. Through refocusing on operational excellence and leveraging on local expertise to lead initiatives that align with global best practices.
He added that by empowering local firms and driving innovation, NNPC Limited aims to solidify Nigeria's position in the global energy market. Earlier in his welcome address, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board and host of the event, Engineer Felix Omashola Ugbe, reiterated the importance of the PNC Forum and its implications for Nigerian content opportunities.
Enabling law in Nigerian oil and gas industry content development, NOJEC Act of 2010, charged the board with a clear mandate to build the capacity of Nigerian companies and individuals to actively participate in the oil and gas industry.
The event also featured presentations from leading industry experts, practical panel discussions, and exhibition tours. The 13th PNC Forum was not just an event but a manifesto of NNPC Limited's ongoing journey towards realizing the full potential of Nigeria's energy resources through local content implementation. By fostering innovation, collaboration and empowerment of local businesses, NNPC Limited is championing a transformative era that paves the way for a sustainable and self-sufficient energy future for Nigeria.
Energy for
Here's an update on the war on crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism by NNPC Limited and its partners.
The war on crude oil theft is on, and the industry-wide security collaboration on hydrocarbon infrastructure continues to record remarkable progress. Between the 30th November and 6th December 2024, a total of 94 incidents were recorded across the Niger Delta region. This was achieved by the joint effort of NNPC Limited's Command and Control Center, Shell Petroleum Development Company, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, Maton Engineering Nigeria Limited, Oando PLC, New Guard Security and Consultancy Services Limited, and government security agencies. In a series of coordinated operations, illegal pipeline connections were discovered and dismantled at key hotspots: Ogbuingbiri, Ejeinkiri, Kalabelema in Bayelsa State, and Okrika 7 in Rivers State witnessed swift action as security forces uncovered illicit setups used by perpetrators to exploit Nigeria's resources. Repairs were carried out promptly, restoring the pipelines to full functionality and fortifying the nation's hydrocarbon infrastructure. The crackdown didn't stop there. Illegal refineries met their end in Ebocha, Umwajuloke community, Okrika 7, and Komkom in River State, as well as Okwa, Uzuaku, Oza West, Odogwa, Obuzo, Ohandu in Abia State, and Biseni in Bayelsa State. Each site dismantled was a victory, disrupting the chain of crude oil theft and sending a clear message to those engaging in this illicit trade. Meanwhile, a massive illegal storage site was uncovered in Okrika 7 in Rivers State, exposing crude oil stored in sacks ready for the black market. Similar discoveries were made at Igi 3, Ibuduya 1, Ebocha, and Ukwa. The destruction of these sites served as a stern warning. No haven exists for crude oil theft in Nigeria. On the waterways, wooden fiber boats brimming with stolen crude oil were seized and destroyed at Igi 4 and Okoloma in Rivers State, and Ukwa in Abia State, further crippling the perpetrators' operations. The week's incidents spanned key corridors: 39 in the Central Corridor, 41 in the Eastern Corridor, 4 in the Western Corridor, and 10 in Deep Blue Water. A total of 19 suspects were apprehended and handed over to government security agencies for investigation. For NNPC Limited, the fight against crude oil theft is more than just a mission. It is a commitment to protecting Nigeria's resources and environment. With each discovery, arrest, and dismantling, the nation moves closer to eradicating the menace for good.
Here's a summary of international energy news for this week. Oil prices climbed by more than 1% on Monday as top importer China flagged its first move towards a loosened monetary policy since 2010, aiming to bolster economic growth. The easing of the monetary policy stance in China is likely the driver of the oil price rebounding and supporting risk sentiment. Brent crude futures were up 94 cents to sell at $72.06 per barrel. Global investors and financiers have indicated interest to stake resources in Nigeria's first multi-billion-dollar floating liquefied natural gas FLNG project. The interest was indicated in Rabat, Morocco, during the just concluded African Investment Forum. AIF is an investment platform aimed at facilitating global investment into Africa by convening project sponsors, financiers, governments, and other key stakeholders with the objective of closing deals. The forum created the opportunity for Nigeria and other African nations to make formal presentations to the global community. Equinor has closed the planned sale of its assets in Nigeria and Azerbaijan for a total consideration of up to $2 billion, completing exits from the two countries after some 30 years. The divestments, first announced in 2023 and completed in recent weeks, will boost cash flow in the fourth quarter and were in line with Equinor's strategy to optimize its international portfolio. Qatar has said there are no concerns about US President-elect Donald Trump's promise to lift the cap on liquefied natural gas exports. Speaking at the Doha Forum, Qatar's Energy Minister Saad Al-Kabi, who is also the chief executive of state-owned Qatar Energy, said his country would cope with any competition. BP and Japanese power generator JERA have agreed to form a standalone joint venture combining their offshore wind operations. The 50-50 venture, called JERA Next BP, will include operating assets and development projects with a potential generation capacity of 13 gigawatts.
For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down in its mission to provide a safe, sufficient, sustainable and cleaner fuel for Nigerians.
And that's where we wrap up the show today. Thank you for watching. If you missed any part of the show or previous episodes, you can catch up by scanning the QR code on your screen now. Now remember to follow us on all our social media handles to get updates of all the activities of NNPC Limited. Thanks again. I'm Egosa Igumbo. See you next time.